Guess who just finished their shift at work? Me, which means I can draw. I have been working at this drawing for like the past 2 days, just sketching it, right? And I failed miserably the first time. Can you see this? I redid the sketch. So, dear shaggers or shaggerettes, if you would like to see it come to fruition, just stick around and find out. This is what we will be working on today. What I've done up until now is just do a sketch, and I have overlaid a bit of graphite, which I will buff using a beauty blender. I'll finish talking now because I think you've heard enough of my voice in the mic, and I will hand over to an even more annoying version of me, which is voiceover me. Take it away, stud. Hi guys! Voiceover me here with a cold, so sorry for the croaky voice, even croakier than usual. For this narration, I really want to walk you through the story behind this piece because it was quite a journey, I'm not gonna lie to you. So, it all starts around 1 week ago. I have this thing where my goal is to create one finalized portrait per week. I just find that this really works with my work schedule, right? I don't have enough time to create full-blown pieces, so I was like, okay, one portrait per week, that's a good start. So I was scrolling through Pinterest, and I really wanted to draw someone with a more distinctive look, which is incredibly hard to find on Pinterest for some weird reason. I don't know, it just, you know, maybe it's just my recommendations, but everyone just has that, that face, like the face, right? But thankfully, I stumbled across this beautiful picture, and I was like, oh my god, yes. This is giving sad girl hours, this is giving girl with the matchsticks, this is just the oomph that I was looking for. I'm gonna draw it, right? I get onto drawing it. I am pumped. I'm just drawing and drawing and drawing. 2 hours pass. I know that I need to go to sleep, and I take a step back because, like, I finished my sketch, right? It was time for shading, and I'm like, this is shit. Now, before I see anyone jumping in the comments and being like, oh, but that sketch wasn't shit, you're just insulting this type of face or this type of art style, let me tell you straight off the bat, I am not willing to jump through those hoops, so let me plead my case. First off, it was not up to the standards and the artistic vision I set for myself, point blank period. Second off, a more technical point, it didn't resemble the reference photo, which I was aiming for, and it did not capture two key features which I was looking for, which I was interested by, which were the model's eyes and the model's lips. So that's a big fail in my books. Third off, and most technical, was that the face wasn't aligned correctly, and let me show you. So for example, the mouth is way too much to the right, and the eyes do not match the tilt of the mouth, and the nose doesn't match the tilt of the mouth either. So it wasn't a great sketch, either from a technical or an artistic vision standpoint, so in conclusion, it was shit. You know, stepping back and realizing that a piece is shit after you've worked on it for so long is a very difficult and disheartening moment for any artist. It's an artist's nightmare. So here you have two choices, really. Do you try and fix it, or do you start anew? In my experience, the path that you take really depends on the type of mistakes, quote-unquote mistakes, that you see. So for example, if the mistakes were wrong alignment of the facial features, you didn't get the features correctly from a structural standpoint, you didn't capture what you wanted to capture, you know, these are some pretty major issues that would take a really long time to fix. And in that case, honestly, it's just better to keep that initial sketch as a learning opportunity, sort of a study of the portrait that you want to make, and then start anew with those things in mind and focusing on those specific mistakes when you get to them. However, if the issues that you're experiencing are a bit smaller and more nitpicky, you can get away with reworking them. Obviously, art is not like a monologue. It's more of a dialogue between your brain and your hand. And sometimes you see something in your head and you want something a certain way, but your hands don't comply. And so, you know, you just need to keep that in mind and be present and be conscious when you're drawing, which is why in this video you will see that I'm like readjusting my pencil grip a lot. I'm stopping, I'm looking, like pushing my chair back, looking at it, does it look right, do I need to rejig it, and all of that. So with this learning experience gained, I restarted the portrait. I really focused on getting the alignment right, on getting the features right, and honestly, an amazing tip that I have from Chelsea Lang here on YouTube, she's an art professor. Before shading or going into drawing, what she does is she overlays the reference on top of the sketch to see, you know, where are things off, do I want to fix them, how off are they, just so that you can get a very good base of your drawing before you invest hours and hours in the rendering of it. In terms of the actual rendering, as you've seen in the video, I usually start by mapping out the dark areas of the face with a very light layer of HB pencil, just as a guide for me, so I know that, okay, those are the areas that I need to darken the most. And then I work section by section, usually on the darkest part of the face to the lightest part of the face, feature by feature. Try to render it as well as possible. And the reason why I go from the darkest part of the face to the lightest one is just so that I can get my contrast right and not jump a lot between different parts of the face, because that smudges the charcoal. Now for the intermediate values or some very soft shadows, I use the blending stump that you are currently seeing. And I literally have a dirty blending stump that's full of charcoal, and I start drawing with it like it's a pencil. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm very heavy-handed, so I often find that for very light shadows, a pencil just doesn't cut it for me, and I end up either making the shadow too dark or pushing it too much and creating marks on the paper. I really recommend this technique. It works really nicely and it gives it sort of like an airbrushed look, which I really like, and it also gives it a bit of grain, and in my opinion, I'm a fan of textures on drawing. Now the big question is, did we succeed at redrawing this portrait? Let me remind you, this was a before and this is an after. I'd say it's a success. I really like how it turned out. Now if you like this piece and if you like me, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever you want, and put down in the comments, what should I draw next? What do you want me to talk about? I'll see you in the next one. Bye.